Will he be behind bars? The revealing confessions also made in court today.
A few breaks in those clouds out there today. If we clear out tonight, it's going to get cold. We'll check your first 1-5 forecast. The Channel 5 News at 5 begins right now.
From the Valley's News Channel, this is Channel 5 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Melissa Correa.
And I'm Rick Diaz. Oscar Adame has the day off.
Right up the top, the Border Patrol is taking some weapons out of service for possible repairs.
National reports indicate some agents are concerned about a possible gun shortage.
We are digging into how all of this affects our local agents. Kirk Chason got to the bottom of it all, and he's live in our studio.
Right, we're talking about something called an M4 carbine rifle. It's the weapon you see right here behind me. Agents take it out into the field, and the weapon's critical if they run into dangerous situations. Now, we spoke with Valley Border Patrol officials as well as leaders from the Agents Union. Today, a Border Patrol spokesman sent us a statement that they are inspecting the rifles and that some rifles have been removed from the inventory. Border Patrol says they're in the process of repairing and replacing damaged M4 carbine rifles. Now, we also spoke with the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council for this area, Chris Cabrera. Cabrera tells us agents are not being sent out into the field without the proper weapons. He says some agents have weapons assigned to them, and those weapons have been taken away from them for maintenance. However, at the start of any given shift, those agents are able to pull rifles from the arsenal of weapons that the Border Patrol maintains in storage. Cabrera says there may have been some early miscommunication among agency leadership and field agents about the inspection and maintenance program. Once again, key point here, no agents being sent out into the field without the proper firearms. Live in the studio, Kirk Chason, Channel 5 News at 5.
Former Hidalgo County Sheriff Commander Jose Padilla will spend just over 3 years in prison. The trafficker he was working with, Tomas Gonzalez, will spend a decade behind bars. Gonzalez told the federal judge he paid up to $1 million to former Sheriff Lupe Trevino's re-election campaign or anything else Trevino wanted. Gonzalez said he paid for protection so he could continue shipping tractor-trailer-sized drug loads without any law enforcement interference. Padilla said he served as the middleman. He would take the money from Gonzalez to Trevino and keep a piece of the pie.
Across the valley, it's been a cool day. A few breaks in the clouds giving us a little bit of sunshine, but now the clouds still kind of hanging in there. Temperatures in the 40s in most areas. McAllen just a little bit warmer at 50. But look at the dew point. It's all the way down at 26, so the air's still pretty dry. Humidity, even at this cool, is only 39% with winds out of the north at about 15 miles an hour. Along and north of that line, a freeze is possible tonight. We're talking about a very light freeze, 32, except once you get into Starr County, western part of Starr County, maybe all the way down to 30. Rest of the area should stay just a little warmer than that. This is considering we think clouds are probably going to clear. If they don't, if the clouds hang in, we'll stay 3 or 4 degrees warmer than that. That's a good thing. We'll update that first 1-5 forecast for you in just a few minutes.
The man on death row for the murder of a Brownsville woman lost a federal court appeal. Ruben Gutierrez was convicted of stabbing Escolastica Harrison with a screwdriver back in 1998. Gutierrez also stole $56,000 from the home. Attorneys for Gutierrez argued he was questioned improperly by police after his arrest. As many as 5 million illegal immigrant families could be protected from deportation. We just learned President Obama will use executive order on immigration reform as early as next week. Tens of thousands of illegal immigrant families crossed in the border earlier this year. Sources say a key part of the plan will allow immigrant parents of American children to apply for work authorizations, and that's going to allow them to stay in the country.
Donna residents will soon learn who 2 of their next city leaders will be. A runoff is needed to decide the mayor and city council member race for place 4. The Donna City Council voted last night to have it on Tuesday, December 2nd. Candidates who failed to get more than 50% of the vote, those are them. The mayoral runoff is between Donna's current mayor, David Simmons, and former city councilwoman Irene Munoz. Council member place 4, the race there is between Kathy Alvarado and Ancieto Santana. And as the temperatures continue to drop, more shelters are opening their doors to those without heat.
That's right. In fact, 2 shelters are working together in the Lower Valley. Our Shelley Childers explains what they're doing tonight.
A new ride connecting those in need with a warm meal and a place to sleep. The Good Neighbor Settlement House in downtown Brownsville provides 3 hot meals a day, but they are only a soup kitchen. Across town, the Ozanam Center has hundreds of beds. Getting between the 2 shelters is more difficult than it sounds. It's 5 miles from the Good Neighbor Settlement House to the Ozanam Center on the other side of Brownsville. That's a 5-mile walk they have to take each night in the cold just to get from dinner to where they're going to sleep. We're going to show you what some of that walk looks like. Interim Executive Director Ruth Hunter explains many folks who need their service are also disabled, making a walk down these blocks more difficult. We're about 1.5 miles into this walk. We're still following the GPS directions. It has us going down International Boulevard where there are no sidewalks and there's a lot of heavy traffic. There is no direct public bus route between the 2 shelters. You must find a ride or walk. We've arrived at our destination. We have to be honest, we didn't walk the entire 5 miles. According to our GPS, that would have taken hours. Another reason why this van transportation service is so important. This is week 1 for the new van service. The shuttle has 1 route that goes back and forth between the 2 shelters.
Instead of sleeping downtown in the alleys or out in front of the stores, they have another option.
And the more options in life, the better your life is.
Both shelters admit they've had few passengers in the first few days of the program.
Homeless people have been lied to and treated poorly by society, many of them for many, many years. And so there's a trust factor. They have to trust you.
She has faith, trust in this new system will grow. Both shelters hope their combined efforts to feed and house will increase their success rate and provide a solution to the homeless problem. Shelley Childers, Channel 5 News, Brownsville.
Well, thousands of children and their families live in the shadows in the valley. The place they call home can change from day to day. They're homeless.
And since then on, it's been really hard. It's been hard to get back on our feet.
I have faith that we're going to get up where we were before. Probably not like we used to live, but we're going to get what we need.
Schools work to find these children. They, along with the community, bring them hope for a better life. Join us for a special report tonight on Channel 5 News at 10. And then head to KOGV.com for a look at all of our top stories. And don't forget to download our app on your smartphone or the latest breaking news, weather, and sports alerts.
Critical computers designed to help us prepare for extreme weather conditions sabotaged. An investigation is now underway. Who top U.S. security officials think is behind this mess?
American sailors swarmed by a group of angry mobsters. We'll show you the shocking video in just 2 minutes. You're watching Channel 5 News at 5. Stay with us.
Breaking news. Breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adame, Melissa Correa, and First Warn 5 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
scammed.
We are tracking new threats to the country's weather warning system. 4 critical websites designed to prepare for extreme conditions were hacked.
U.S. officials are turning their eyes to China. ABC's Karen Travers has the latest.
President Obama was in Beijing this week, where he and the Chinese president announced a significant agreement on climate change. But here at home, new suspicions about the Chinese government's role in recent hacking attacks. U.S. government computer systems are critical in times of severe weather, forecasting hurricanes and tornadoes, and potentially saving lives. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration confirms that 4 key weather websites were recently hacked. And congressional sources tell ABC News as a result, the National Weather Service lost access to some of those critical images for days. U.S. officials are trying to determine whether hackers affiliated with the Chinese government are to blame. But one lawmaker said there's nothing to investigate.
This is China. China's doing this. They're stealing us blind.
Earlier this week, the U.S. Postal Service said that unknown hackers were behind a data breach that affected some of its customers and employees. National security officials say there's been an uptick in these sorts of attacks by more sophisticated players.
Terrorism is still the #1 national security threat, but we've seen cyber grow at an alarming rate. And the threats that we face, the number of actors, the number of breaches, this is a real problem.
A big concern is that hackers could significantly disrupt the government's ability to provide timely weather information, and delays could mean life or death. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Some U.S. Navy sailors were attacked, plastic bags pulled over their heads as they used an ATM. The whole thing was caught on camera.
Brown. We define you as murderers, as killers. We want you to get out of our land.
You see them there. The 2 sailors were in Turkey for a port call. The sailors managed to escape and make it back to their ship after the bags were put over their heads. Their attackers are members of the Turkish Youth Union, a group that condemns what they call, quote, American imperialism.
Well, the Pentagon says the fight to take down ISIS could expand to U.S. troops fighting alongside Iraqi soldiers. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel and Army General Martin Dempsey testified before Congress today. Hagel said U.S. and coalition forces are slowing down ISIS militants, but says the battle is just beginning. President Obama is seeking congressional approval for $5.6 billion to expand the U.S. mission in Iraq. The president also wants to send up more than 1,500 American soldiers to the region. Congress also must decide whether to reauthorize training and equipping of modern Syrian rebels.
It has been a chilly day all across the valley, and tonight looks downright cold in most areas. When we come back, we'll take your first 1-5 forecast. Garces, Alamo, Laguna Vista, and the rest of the valley next.
And now, First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith.
Hey folks, yet another cold day across the valley. We had a few breaks in the clouds that allowed temperatures to warm a little bit in some places, but we're still anywhere from 45 to 51 across the area. So another chilly day, pretty much valley-wide. Let's look outside right now. We'll look in Rio Grande City where WeatherBug is. A little cooler there, 48 degrees, and the sky's still mostly cloudy. There were some good breaks for a while, but as they kind of thickened up once again, we still have a wind that's mainly out of the north, so we've got that drier air undercutting the warm, moist air, and it makes it lift, and you end up with clouds. If that continues all night, we're not going to get as cold as we're forecasting. That would be a good thing. Let's go back. Let's look at those temperatures now. You saw them, and now here are your forecast lows, and this line basically represents a freeze line. Everything north of that could freeze. And I'm talking barely. You're looking at 32, right on the mark tonight. South of that, I think you should be okay. So most of the valley is okay. And if the clouds don't break, if we don't clear, then everybody should stay above freezing by 3 or 4 more degrees than what we're showing right here. So we're going to watch those clouds tonight. The more stars you see, that means there's fewer clouds. That means temperatures are going to drop more quickly. So just keep an eye on that sky. And if it clears out, we're going to get down to these numbers. That's what we're watching for. The good news is tomorrow we rebound a little bit. The whole valley gets back into the 50s tomorrow afternoon. 56 is still chilly, but at least, in the 50s. 56 at the beach we showed you. That's the average. Saturday and Sunday, just in time for the weekend, we're right back into the 70s. Could be a passing shower either day of the weekend, but not a lot of stuff. Now, here's cloud cover picture. You see all the rain has moved out, but if you watch closely, you'll see a few breaks in the last few frames here. Right in there. There's a good break out of parts of Hidalgo County, a few other breaks in the back to the west from there. Again, we're just going to watch and see if the clouds clear. Future Track suggests the clouds are already gone except at the coast. We know that's not true, so you kind of have to take the overnight cloud cover forecast with a grain of salt, but we do know it's going to be cold either way. 30s regardless. It's just a question of whether it's 32 or 35, and the clouds will make that determination. Tomorrow we're back to partly sunny skies with a passing shower along the coast. Saturday could be a stray shower along the coast as well, but a vast majority of the area is rain-free. And then Sunday, we warm up a little bit. Still keep a few clouds around, but Sunday's the day before the front. Another front on Monday cools things off again. There's your rain chances, dry 20 and a late 30 by the time you get to the end of the weekend. Look at the rest of Texas. There's one front offshore, high pressure, trying to build into the state, but going more eastward than southward. By the time we get to Saturday, our front moves back to the north as a warm front. That's what gets us up into the upper 70s, but as soon as it moves away, here comes another cold front. That's due in here on Monday. Temperatures will fall once again. So tonight, under clearing skies, we'll go partly cloudy officially. A cold night, an average low of about 33. I think that's the bottom end of the scale for it. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, a little bit warmer, a little bit 56 for a high. 71 Saturday, 79 Sunday, and then we're windy and colder. The bottom drops out again on Monday, 54 for a high. Monday night, we're going 41, but again, if we clear out, we'll be colder than that. Bears watch, and by the middle of next week, end of next week, back into the upper 70s. That's your updated First Warn 5 forecast.
And there is no magic formula for motivating students, but One Valley High School has found it. Coming up next in Gear Up, the program that is enticing students to want to learn more. Students and teachers are halfway through the school year, but this past summer, Gear Up students participated in a program that is helping them right now.
It's called the AYD program. Leti Garza has more in today's Gear Up.
First of all, we can determine. Check out the look in these kids' faces, intense and loving their chemistry class. And this is why. They are Gear Up sophomores at Rio Grande City High School who participated in the AYD program over the summer. AYD stands for Academic Youth Development. It is a program that teaches students the importance of persistence and effort. It also teaches them not to give up, but rather engage in challenging coursework, and in turn, they get smarter. Their principal, Adolfo Peña Jr., has seen the results firsthand.
Looking at the end of the year, how we evaluate our programs, we do see how the AYD program has helped in mathematics and in biology. At the end of the year, we're very pleased to say that our scores, both in algebra and mathematics, were in the upper 80s. And this is the end of course test that students are taking at the end of the school year. So we are very, very happy to announce that.
These students are now excited about science and math. They ask one question after another. Thanks to AYD, they're no longer afraid of tackling those hard questions.
Our Gear Up Corps teachers have informed us that this particular initiative has helped them instill a greater love of math and learning within their students. For our students, this whole process has kind of helped them eliminate that whole fear of math and learning, and they've picked up more problem-solving skills.
Next week, we'll hear from the students who say AYD isn't rocket science at all. I'm Leti Garza with Gear Up at Rio Grande City High School.
A Valley native went from small town girl to the star of a new hit TV series right here on Channel 5. Coming up on Channel 5 News at 5, the show that is giving the Valley a Hollywood name.
And it's a chilly night across the Valley. Temperatures are going to fall through the 40s, probably into the 30s by 11 o'clock. We'll check that forecast as we continue.
Furniture Weslaco.
You know, it's becoming one of my Friday faves. A comedy show that airs Friday nights right here on Channel 5 is showcasing local talent.
The show is called Cristela. Its creator, writer, and star of the show is from San Juan. Here's today's Con Mi Gente.
Hey, today we get a chance to talk to ABC's newest star, and she just happens to be from right here in the Rio Grande Valley. San Juan native Cristela Alonso is joining
Channel
us.
5's Tony Forina managed to squeeze an interview via satellite with Cristela.
I can't believe it. I mean, we had such a great reception. Everybody seemed to really enjoy the show, and I can't even tell you how excited I am.
It's a comedy that airs on Friday nights here on Channel 5.
the show is really about my family that grew up in the Rio Grande Valley. I mean, it's incredible to think that we're on TV. You know what I mean? I grew up in San Juan thinking, well, I'm 1,000 miles away from ever doing something like this, and now I'm doing it.
She, her sister, and 2 brothers were brought up by a single mother. Her sister now lives in Dallas. Her brothers are educators with FAR San Juan Alamo schools.
Well, I'm very proud of her.
Brother Ruben Alonso is a coach at Ramirez Elementary.
I like the show. I like it very much. I sit there and I find myself laughing at the things she does. And, you know, and not because it's just my sister, but, you know, I see other shows and I don't find it quite as funny or as interesting.
I've seen every single one of her shows. I've recorded each one of them.
Ofelia Peña was one of Cristela's high school drama teachers. She's now an assistant principal at PSJA's Austin Middle School.
But I always tell her she's the one that got herself where she is right now. We just pushed her a little bit when she was in high school, but after high school, she was on her own.
Now, wait, this is not your first Channel 5 appearance, right? We understand that you were a contestant on Masterminds a few years back, weren't you? Oh, yeah.
I was actually on I was on Masterminds throughout my entire high school years. So, yeah, there's a couple.
But it seems like you took a piece of San Juan with you when you put your cast together. David Barrera, another PSJA alum, you hired his wife to play your sister.
Once you see the show, you'll recognize a lot of people from my family in your family. I think we all have an uncle like that, an aunt like that, my mom like that. You know, it's all very, very relatable to everybody.
San Juan native Cristela Alonso, now a network star. And we are proud.
And yes, we are. Coming up on Channel 5 News at 6 o'clock, one former mayor of Matamoros says the money laundering allegations against him are untrue. In 30 minutes, we'll hear from the former mayor himself.
And a spiritual sighting in La Villa. Some folks say yep, others say no way. You decide. At 6, why seeing isn't necessarily believing.
Cold night tonight, temperatures into the 30s valley-wide, then tomorrow back to 56, and we're warmer through the weekend. Another front Sunday night cools it off again. We'll update that forecast for you coming up at 6 o'clock.
Nice to have you on the set today with us, Rick.
It was good to be here. Very good. Very nice.
With the Con Mi Gente. And like Tim said tonight, you know, one of the things we need to watch out for are the clouds. The more stars we see, the cooler it's going to get.
Be careful on that one, yes.
I know.
We'll find out. Cold day today, but no rain.
No rain. That's as good as it gets. Thank you so much. He'll be back here in 30 minutes.